The Robe of Peace. Mysteries follow one another so closely in a great city that the reading public and the friends of Johnny Belchambers have ceased to marvel at his sudden and unexplained disappearance nearly a year ago. This particular mystery has now been cleared up, but the solution is so strange and incredible to the mind of the average man that only a select few who were in close touch with Belchambers will give it full credence. Johnny Belchambers, as is well known, belonged to the intrinsically inner circle of the elite, without any of the ostentation of the fashionable ones, who endeavored to attract notice by eccentric display of wealth and show. He was au fait in everything that gave deserved luster to his high position in the ranks of society. Especially did he shine in the matter of dress. In this, he was the despair of imitators. Always correct, exquisitely groomed, and possessed of an unlimited wardrobe, he was conceded to be the best-dressed man in New York, and, therefore, in America. There was not a tailor in Gotham who would not have deemed it a precious boon to have been granted the privilege of making Belchambers clothes without a cent of pay. As he wore them, they would have been a priceless advertisement. Trousers were his especial passion. Here, nothing but perfection would he notice. He would have worn a patch as quickly as he would have overlooked a wrinkle. He kept a man in his apartments always busy pressing his ample supply. His friend said that 3 hours was the limit of time that he would wear these garments without exchanging. Belchambers disappeared very suddenly. For 3 days his absence brought no alarm to his friends, and then they began to operate the usual methods of inquiry. All of them failed. He had left absolutely no trace behind. Then the search for a motive was instituted, but none was found. He had no enemies. He had no debts. There was no woman. There were several $1,000s in his bank to his credit. He had never showed any tendency toward mental eccentricity. In fact, he was of a particularly calm and well-balanced temperament. Every means of tracing the vanished man was made use of, but without avail. It was one of those cases, more numerous in late years, where men seemed to have gone out like a flame of a candle, leaving not a trail of smoke as a witness. In May, Tom Ayers and Lancelot Gilliam, two of Belchambers' old friends, went for a little run on the other side. While pottering around in Italy and Switzerland, they happened, one day, to hear of a monastery in the Swiss Alps that promised something outside of the ordinary tourist beguiling attractions. The monastery was almost inaccessible to the average sightseer, being on an extremely rugged and precipitous spur of the mountains. The attractions it possessed, but did not advertise, were, first, an exclusive and divine cordial made by the monks that was said to far surpass Benedictine and Chartreuse.